Welcome back. All right, this is the first of what may be two videos on this channel, or maybe three. Maybe there'll be a live stream today. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to go crazy with this, but maybe. So I wanted to do one of these videos I like to do on what I've been watching on TV. Now, keep in mind that with it not being hockey season, I try to catch up on stuff, but it's difficult. And then for my lovely wife, she sometimes gets confused about what we're watching and what we're not. And there are some seasons and some shows that I just don't find that much interest in, so we end up dropping it. Like, for instance, I did all those videos on Love Island. Did I watch the finale? Nah. Nah. The finale was almost 2 hours, and I was like, I don't care enough to watch 2 more hours. Like, because the final episode, they just wander around and talk about, aren't we in love? And it's like, I don't. Who won? Who won the money? So, there you go. And the couple I wanted to win the money actually finished fourth out of the final four. So, there you go. So I wanted to talk about what I've been watching, and at the top of the board, my favorite show, The Traitors, Season 2 from New Zealand, is, at least on my Crave account, and Crave is like Hulu, sort of like, so it's a Canadian like version, kind of like Hulu. 7 episodes into New Zealand, and absolutely the ending of episode 7. Oh my gosh, seriously, how can you end it like that? One thing with Traitors is that I usually find myself watching the first 5 minutes of the next episode because I always end up on a cliffhanger. And I don't like reality shows ending on a cliffhanger. I don't think it's necessary. I think if you have a good show, you don't need a stinger at the end to make sure people come back next week. And I think you're risking alienating your viewers a little bit. But the cliffhanger at the end of episode 7 of season 2, and I'm not going to ruin it for anybody who doesn't watch the Traitors New Zealand, but basically it's blackmail. It's blackmail. And it is the most brilliant piece of blackmail I've ever seen. And they set it up really well. They made it clear that it was coming. They made it clear that somebody had figured it out. And I have no idea what's going to happen the rest of this season. There's 3 episodes left. This is going to be absolutely insane. And I know there's going to be some really crazy stuff because they still have, I think it's 13 people left, 12 or 13 people. It's a crazy amount of people that are left, considering there's not very many episodes. So they're going to have like double eliminations and things of that nature. And those are always great. So, yeah, I can't recommend that one enough. Mark is one of the best characters I've ever seen. Mark's like a super fan. So when he's in there and they're doing the voting and everything, every time he sees his name written down as the one they're trying to banish, he just smiles. He thinks it's great. He is having the time of his life on this show, and I'm kind of here for it. I think it's fantastic to see somebody really enjoying themselves. Now, the one thing is that when he's smiling all the time, people see that as off-putting. And he answered with, "This is a game." When people are like, "Why are you smiling?" He's like, "It's a game. I'm still here. Other people have gone home. It's a game." People take this really seriously. It is tough to get banished, I think, on this show without taking it personally. And you can definitely see that people take it personally when they get thrown out of the house, especially if they're a faithful. So I have no idea what's going to happen. But I will say this might be the smartest group of faithfuls I've ever seen on a series of the Traitors. Very smart in picking up on little things from Traitors. And it's funny because on almost every season of the show, there's been moments where I'm like, okay, somebody's got to pick up on that. Nope, none of the faithful picked up on that. How do you not pick up on that? That was really obvious. I have not had a moment like that at all in this season. In fact, there's been times where I'm like, I don't know if they caught that, and they did. So, really smart group of faithfuls. I have no idea who's going to win, but it is endlessly entertaining. It really is. My favorite kind of reality show. The Mole is up there too. So, I started watching season 2 of The Mole on Netflix. I got 5 episodes in and realized, I'd like to watch this with Yvonne. So I went back and started over. Now, what made that easier is they don't tell you who the mole is. And they have all of them doing the isolated interviews, and every single one of them talks like they're trying to catch the mole, which gets a little bit irritating. Not gonna lie, a little bit irritating. I have my own idea of who it might be and all that. I'm gonna wait and see what Yvonne's theory is and all that. But it's a fun show. I never watched the first season because the winner was spoiled for me by one of the other reality shows that I watched, because Netflix reality stars all go to other reality shows on Netflix. They all cross with one another. It is interesting to see how this has become an industry, how people are making a living and going from one show to the next to the next to the next, and actually making that their source of income to the point where there are certain, like I think it's Bergie from last year's Love Island, keeps himself where he is geographically just in case another show wants him, just in case he ends up back on reality TV. Whether it's Big Brother, Survivor, whoever wants him, that's what he's ready to do. And hey, I mean, if you can make money doing that, more power to you. We've been watching Amazing Race Canada. I think we're 2 episodes in. Amazing Race Canada is a little bit easier to watch than the American one, even though the American one, they go all around the world. The Canadian one, they go all around the Canada. Yeah. And they don't always hit like the big cities either. Sometimes it's like out in the middle of nowhere and they're doing some really weird challenge and it's like, this is kind of lame, isn't it? Whereas the American one, they're going to Rome and Italy. Like they're all over the world. They're going all over South Asia, and the Canadian one, they're like, and we're in Timmins today. Ooh, Timmins, Ontario. This is exciting. But all kidding aside, Amazing Race Canada has shorter episodes than the American one too. The American one, they're hour-and-a-half episodes. Even without the commercials, it still ends up being a tough watch. Yvonne and I did not get through last season of the Amazing Race. Just the episodes were too long. I was like, I can't do this, and because it's not like they're more interesting. They just show us more of the minutia of what they're doing, and I'm like, I don't really know if I care about this. The Canadian one though is very entertaining, and so yeah, we'll see how that one goes. MasterChef Generations. So every season on MasterChef, you get something ridiculous. One of my favorites was I mean, Next Level's always funny too. Next Level Chef, because they'll be like, "This is a good dinner, but is it next level?" With Master Chef, when they hit season 10, if I had made a drinking game out of how many times they say, "This is a good dish, but this is season 10. We have our standards a little bit higher," I wouldn't be standing here right now. I'd be on life support. Master Chef is one of those Chef Ramsay shows which I know it's real. I know it's not faked, but it feels like it is. Some of these people just feel so over the top. It's not the only one where people feel over the top, though. I gotta be honest. But yeah, Master Chef. Since it's generations, they have the Boomers, they have Generation X, Millennials, and Gen Z. And what makes me laugh is every time that they'll try a dish, and Joel will do the face and go, you know, I would have expected this dish from the Boomers. I'm not sure if I'm surprised this comes from the Millennials. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. What did you say this was? Spaghetti and meatballs? I don't know if meatballs go with spaghetti anymore. Our culinary tastes have evolved. Like it's so silly. And the thing that makes me laugh watching Master Chef is when they get, whoever's the chef is, they got all their ingredients, they're getting all ready, and a chef comes around, what are you making? And then they'll tell them all the ingredients. They're like, I don't know if that's gonna work. I've never heard of that before. That looks like that's burning. That's already overcooked. That looks like it's as thick as a brick and probably about half as tough. Have fun, and then I think to myself, like, if I was that chef, I would be absolutely petrified. In fact, I might just pack up my apron and just go. I'm like, well, this was fun. It was nice knowing everybody. All of my ingredients are wrong. Everything's already overdone. I've got 15 minutes left on the clock, so it's been nice knowing you. Nice to meet all the chefs. I'm gonna go ahead and see myself out. But I do. I get a kick out of that when they just And I think the one thing that kind of gets me on the show is where there's almost like it's prejudicial. They go in with this idea of, I'm not going to like this dish. Then you're not going to like it. You're not. You go in with this idea that this can't work. So it's not going to work. And so again, if you're the chef, I think you have to make a change with your dish, which would not be easy when more than half the time is already gone. Cobra Kai, this is going to be quick. Maybe. I think 5 minutes into the second episode. It might be the stupidest crap I've ever watched. I don't understand. This is the final season. And I'm 5 minutes in and I'm like, this is so stupid. Like you have Kenny, right? Kenny's this troubled youth, and there's this brother, and his bro's like, I got out of juvie, and I'm ready to fight people, and they're all ready to fight at the batting cage. I do wonder what the insurance is like for where they go to the batting cage and the mini golf and all that. Like there's so many teenage. There should be signs up saying no karate fighting, lifetime ban for karate fighting. But like the next scene, the older brother goes to me. He's like, "Yo, you look like I did when I was a kid before I got in trouble and went to juvie. So maybe you should listen to the karate people." One scene ago, you told them not to. And now, with no intervention, suddenly you're like, maybe you should do that. And then, like, you've got Sam and Tori, which is the most overwritten storyline on the show. And then I've already read the spoilers for what happens later in this. And, like, Sam and Tori are like, I don't like you. I don't like you either. And then by the end of their episode, they're like, you might be okay. You might be okay too. And there's just this ridiculousness. Just, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't get it. And so the fact that they've convoluted their way into Kreese, going off to Korea to recreate Cobra Kai. I don't care. I don't care. I don't know. I don't care. Belongs in jail. I don't get it. And it's just I can't get past how stupid it is. I can't. I've enjoyed the show all the way through. I can't get over how stupid it is. So yeah, this didn't end up being short. I thought it would be short. I thought it would just say Cobra Kai is. I don't think I'm going to finish it. And that's where I'm at with Cobra Kai. I don't think I'm going to finish it because it's so dumb. I can't figure out why Chosen's even there still. Why are you there, Chosen? Why aren't you going home? This is weird. You don't have any income. You're sitting on Daniel LaRusso's couch. We call that being a bum. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. Cobra. And I love Chosen. He's my favorite character. And this season, he's just kind of there. He's picking a fight with Johnny because he's bored, I think. Anyways, Blown Away. This is not a violent show. This is about blowing glass. So we've been watching this season of Blown Away. What I like with Blown Away is just the episodes are less than half an hour. And it's just blowing glass. It's something completely different than everything else that's on reality TV. And they get creative, and sometimes the glass smashes. In fact, a lot of the time the glass breaks. I do wonder though how many seasons of this show they're gonna have before they have to do like an All Stars edition and stuff, because it feels like there aren't a lot of people that do the glass blowing, which I get. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be in the hot shop. I'm just gonna say straight, I couldn't do it. I would be so nervous about the glass breaking all the time, and I'd be just broiling. You just broil in the hot shop. So nothing but respect for people who do the glass blowing. It's not something I'd want to do. Have at her. Too Hot to Handle this season. They've completely revamped the show. I'm not sure why. I don't know if the viewing numbers were down last year or if they just wanted to go in another direction, but they have completely revamped the show. I don't know whether it's better or not. It's different. At one point during the second episode, I even turned to Yvonne and I said, this is a different show. This is not the same show. So if you've watched Too Hot to Handle before, you know what? I'll pretend you haven't. Too Hot to Handle is simple. They get a bunch of people that they seem to have horned up. The only thing that I can figure is like, it's not realistic that people are like, I must make out with everybody within 5 hours of meeting people. So I figure it's a combination of them watching a bunch of adult films, eating a ton of Skittles, and drinking a bunch of coffee, and then you send them loose. Because they're ridiculous. It's insane. Where in the world do you find people that are just like, hey, let's all make out? And on other reality shows where they're allowed to do that, they don't. And in some cases, it's the same people who've been on Too Hot to Handle that I see on other reality shows, and they're not like that at all. So it does make me wonder how genuine any of this is. But this year they have changed how the eliminations work, and they've got this weird banishment thing going, and it's weird. It's like they got this underground barracks thing or whatever it is, and you can waste money trying to spy on what's going on in the villa. So they're draining the cash pool like crazy, just spying on each other. It's weird. That's not what the show was through the first 5 seasons. You lost money for kissing. The funniest thing to me with Too Hot to Handle though is that if two people kiss each other, that costs like $3,000 or $6,000 from the prize pot. But if you're outside in the sun and you apply tanning lotion or sunscreen to every single part of a person's body, That's okay. It doesn't cost you a cent. We've even seen that already this season. And I said to Yvonne, I said, so what would you rather see? Me kissing a girl or putting suntan lotion all over their legs? And she said I could handle the kissing a little bit better. So it's weird that that's not considered like intimate or like it's just uh-huh. So anyways, Too Hot to Handle is ridiculous. So I've talked about Farming for Love. Great show. Fantastic show. I believe I've talked about Farming for Love, haven't I? Was that the first take or is it this one? I don't know. You're the old one. Anyways, Farming for Love is a great show. Absolutely recommend. And hopefully I get to see some of these farmers locally. Gurlene's really turned this into a thing now, as Gurlene is now on Amazing Race Canada. She was on Farming for Love, and then she was on the Traitors, the Canadian version of the Traitors. So she's doing very well for herself, and she makes sure that she is promoting Man Farms while she's out there. Man Farms hats, Man Farms shirts. That's a good job. You're promoting your family's business while you're on reality TV. And honestly, the farm is local to me here. It seems like it's doing really well since she started appearing on reality shows. I think it's made a positive impact on their cash flow. So tomorrow night, I believe it's tomorrow night, the advanced screenings of Deadpool show up, and we're going. I'm going with Yvonne tomorrow night. We're going to go see Deadpool. Deadpool and Wolverine should be absolutely fantastic. I have no doubt in my mind I'm going to laugh a lot watching this movie. I think it's going to be great, and hopefully it brings back my love for Marvel movies, which has severely been hampered in recent years. I did start Loki. I don't have Loki on the board because I've only watched like an episode and a half so far, I think, or maybe 2 episodes. I'm marveled out. I'm marveled out. I know, like, even so to the point where when it's even good and well written, I'm still kind of the mind of ah I don't know. Do I want to watch Marvel right now? Probably not. And then I throw on, well, the Traitors, obviously. This is my favorite show. Like, not necessarily New Zealand, although the first season of New Zealand I would rate as like my least favorite of the ones I've watched. That wasn't the second season of Australia, but if you watch the second season of the Australian version of the Traitors, be aware you're gonna rage. You will rage at the faithful regularly. And you don't have to have an opinion one way or the other. You could just be casual. They are the stupidest group of people that have ever been on the show. They're just awful. Like every single episode, it's, hey, this guy here seems to be a traitor, and they're right. And then that person that they're right about goes, nah, it's that person, and they go, well, clearly he made a really good defense, so that's the person we're going to eliminate. What are you doing? Anyways, so every episode was the same thing. I think you should eliminate that guy. He's right. I mean, we know he's probably a traitor, but he did make a good argument that he's not by saying I'm not a traitor. So, and he'd always do it with this big goofy grin on his face. The grin is a dead giveaway, unless you're Mark on this year's New Zealand, in which case, keep the grin, be as happy as you can be, and drive everybody nuts. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, as always. If you haven't already hit like and subscribe, it's greatly appreciated if you do. And yeah, I couldn't be happier that there's a season of Traitors for me to watch from somewhere around the globe, so that I can get my fix. And then when the American and the UK and the other versions start up again, even during hockey season, I have to find time for that. And I've been getting excited about the concert in October as well, where we're going to see The Warning, and then we're going to see Hailstorm, and then we're going to see Evanescence all in one night, and all for one ticket price, which I think is completely reasonable. There is a concert coming here to Abbotsford, which is Paula Abdul, and Tiffany and Taylor Dane are opening up for her. And as curious as I might be to see how much of a car crash that might be, the ticket price and the fact that I don't think my wife would have a good time at that concert has meant that I'm not buying tickets yet. But I am saying yet. All right, thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.